everything is not random, as believed, even when you sink in tandem, like now being perceived.
Yeah. Ha ha! Here, see how moronic. When we used to think that the earth was flat, but now it's ironic, because we have found that the universe is not quite round. Infinity for eternity is infinitely complex, with paradigm scales and details that simply just perplex. That's even more intriguing than their opposite sex. Seriously, no, nobody really knows, even if a black hole grows or radiation ejects. Certainly, nothing is certain, and that's absolute, such as safety asserting in the atom-smashing pursuit.
There's a chance of an avalanche, like a snowball in free fall. So therefore, usually, I quantum illustrate visually for the field theory alliterate. Universal common sense notions, natural cause and effect motions. And we see relating eventually the logic of truth correlations by using elementary fault event tree validations. We can even invent a way to believe, evidently in percent, then achieve event tree correlations, elementary validations. So be a fine man and realign them via plans, like with Feynman diagrams.
Then find the blind kind of behind the name fame kind or Einstein mind. And let's see who's still saluting, good old Newton, or arresting, like our Tesla Resola.
Haha. The best referred construct math equations are not from inferred language to math relations. When Hawking's math feels the wrath, and people start to ha-ha laugh. Mate, don't hate. Losing the faith is just what is fate. Rely on the signs, realign with the times. Only time can teach your life's crimes when life's clock is ringing its chimes. No time for inhibitions. Life has no intermissions. Do not be astray led to an ashtray bed. Just use your head. Atoll flags waved and raised, so red. For without the bad dumb times that we had sometimes, we sit out the good times, no fun times. And when there's no pain, there's no gain. So bring your AAA game, not the walk of shame. Referees are not to blame. Yeah, man, kick-busting kickoffs fuel the kicking back, kickbacks, scoring the time to shine and relax. Relaxing, living life to the max. It's just the game of life. These rules are game, set, hacks. So now go style your smile so divine fine, going with the synchro flow, just freestyle your sublime divine line, your dial shine that all superstars show. As all this existence only needs is your high smile shine prime, and for universal peace, love and harmony to align, more fun time. And hey, it's not a gamble to be nice. as the price to pay, per se, is just a grain of rice. Rolling this life, the ultimate roll of the dice. So okay, we all now must understand, to attention, to this outstanding, helping hand intention, that is extending from another high dimension, which is attending to this tension mention. This is a raising type of alarm, and is for facing all of which can cause harm, made to help make up with some good old charm, that will rest in peace for this war of disarm. That's been going on down throughout the ages. You can say it's like a war of the sages. So I bet you can forget all the wages, as history repeats, turning the same stage pages. This is greater than a David vs. Goliath conquer, and is even bigger than Ben-Hur. So only the AAA game, not the walk of shame, must occur, to then party harder pro rata? Yes sir. But ideology first must be pure, then idiotic neurotic curiosity we can deter. And this narrowtology terminology I concur, as psychosomatic neuroimmunology, for sure, is lyrical medicinal technology, to refer an intrinsical miracle type of psychology you prefer, as this epistemology phenomenology that you incur is in astronomy biology, cosmology theology, ecosmology transfer. Like this analogy is about an Apollo apology for a mythology that someone must confer. Some say the world will end in fire, some say it will end with ice, but a black hole desire, playing with an unknown fire, is a gamble with humanity only once, not twice. A black hole is around the bend. I swear we're not pretending. So see what we befriend, and how this impending doom end is still pending. So until science stops all this type of spending, please, as they really have no comprehending, seriously this needs amending, without anyone re-offending. As the whole future is something worth defending, and therefore must stop all humanity descending. So hear this grand command, now transcending, and know that any lending hand commending is ascending. Not to be condescending about the condescending, due to the non-comprehending the impending doom ending. The dark age science is black hole befriending. Playing with an unknown fire, arcs barking out quarks, they have a black hole desire, cakewalking in dark shark parks. Showing no fear, boldly going where no other would steer. Listening to them cheer, do not cry a tear, like condensation. Just be a pioneer with our conversation. Have a gander at all the incredible, uncredible, improper propaganda. And get of the fence? No offense, I sense. Common universal sense is the best defense. As our accidents will happen like all good parties that end. So what good is man when he can't be his own friend? But our coexistence force deep within us all is the essence source of every existence core. Our common universal sense of course. For peace, love, and coexistence, that's a universal law. When nothing is absolute except resolution, The ultimate pollution, absolute solution, is relying on us to salute and accept revolution, and part of the solution is mood substitution. From the institution, where there is confusion, there's no substitute for proper execution. It's just one cannot choose what one cannot refuse, not by relinquishing the authority of the minority or the majority, or defining the right clarity, what is the black and white light polarity. Simply we must avoid a tragedy. That's a tragic castle travesty, Your Majesty. To appease our demanding the full potential, from under understanding the exponential. Ecosmology is now expanding the instrumental, free keys to ease the extra transcendental. You see, this is like a free-for-all that we're all going in, and as such it's also free for all, for free flowing within. Also it's free, so we all can be free falling in. Yeah, so look out without a doubt, no doubt. It's my shout to shout, my profound sound that's all about what I devout found out. For all around or underground, this surround sound pound is never bowing on out. You are now about to mount an amounting paramount mountain amount of iceberg tips snowballing free falling down for all the Himalayan mountains around that account all nations tax donations amounting flowing as fountains and still counting. It's a complicated narration creation, compiling this complaint compilation. It's just a new formation, a form of formal formulation, forming informing information. Because our new dawn is yawning, like it's due on the lawn from morning. But as we are all uniquely born, there is no norm to conform. Like sheep who all adorn the same uniform. Feel free to be you, as you're uniquely new, and as all the morning new age dawn yawners, every morning, need to read like a sleuth to find the clues, and just feed on the truth behind the news that's forming a good morning. Like this a line rhyming of refined prime lines, in a mile high piling creating style smile shines, with modern extremity meditation medications, for alternate mind alterating altercations, which ultimately create the ultimate education situation, like a space destination simulation stimulation. Quantum local relativity explains enigmatic activity. The big questions, pieced from suggestions. It's a gift to uplift, a new paradigm shift, busting the brink, and cease those conjecture congestions. Superluminal motion through the cosmic ocean, yeah. Propagating on and proper known as drawn, oh yeah. Frictionless propagation, inertia excitation, yeah. To the point of absolute zero, exists a particle that is a hero, called the Tron, because that is where everything comes from. It is a sea, this cosmological constant is a logical cosmic ocean. You see, you are now surfing, riding this wave of poetry in motion. At the smallest scale of relevance, is the holy place of benevolence. It's a particle so small, it virtually doesn't exist at all. Our last relevant size of the small is this building block of one and all. The smallest space particle that affects us Thus don't miss this physics bus, as there's a lot to discuss. And this involves all of us. Superluminal motion through the cosmic ocean, yeah. Propagating on, and proper known as tron, oh yeah. Frictionless propagation, inertia excitation, yeah. It's a particle so small, it virtually doesn't exist at all. Like something from nothing virtually, is how the tron makes reality. Passing through everything yet we can't detect, but deep inside everything has an effect. Not created nor destroyed, creating like us to be enjoyed. Setting the cosmic boundary, perpetuating particle energy, providing infinite power and symmetry, the fabric of time, space and me, all throughout history. Answering questions shaded in mystery. It's the reason for galactic wheel rotations, so forget dark matter from your grey area matter imaginations. It's the limiting effect on momentum and speed. That is what existence must need. This fabric of space and time is quantum foam, or zero-point energy it is otherwise known. A zero-point energy field, as the Casimir effect revealed. Superluminal motion through the cosmic ocean, yeah. Propagating on, and proper known as tron, oh yeah. Frictionless propagation, inertia excitation, yeah. Quantum tron flux is the universal energy source, and this inertia plasma is the inner outward force. As this cosmological constant assertion to follow the path of dispersion, causing a diversion on any larger particle in its submersion, making all our relative physics our current physics version. Superluminal motion through the cosmic ocean, yeah. Propagating on, and proper known as tron, oh yeah. Frictionless propagation, inertia excitation, yeah. Tron flux just goes with the flow, just to flow where it's low. Like where a singularity sucks, due to the gravitons that it chucks. With the easy entry poles, at the slow axis point holes, forming a complex tooling, storming a vortex whirlpooling. Then when two form a vortex form, again a black hole can be born. In fact, when they compact toward a point of inflection, is where the only direction is without objection. Superluminal motion through the cosmic ocean, yeah. Propagating on, and proper known as tron, oh yeah. Frictionless propagation, inertia excitation, yeah. As tron flux feeds black holes its main course, driven by its source of the spinning centrifugal force. Then gravity is a factor in the photon fusion reactor. As these two cyclonic charged tornadoes is how the tron flux current flows. Like your bathwater when you dispose. And unfortunately I suppose, gravitational lensing shows nobody knows. That's how a black hole grows. Superluminal motion through the cosmic ocean, yeah. Propagating on, and proper known as tron, oh yeah. Frictionless propagation, inertia excitation, yeah. The tron is the smallest particle we know, fluidly moving and going with the flow. As the tron passes through everything yet we cannot detect, but we see how deep inside everything has an effect. Setting boundaries for that space and light speed define Not created nor destroyed, this fabric creates us all so fine. Perpetuating particle energy, providing infinite power and symmetry. As every blast from the past shows how this universe is built to last. With this inner plateau so vast, this point is superluminally fast. Perpetuated for eternity, galactic cycling agains, the infinite amount of supermassive black big hole bangs. Not created nor destroyed, creating like us to be enjoyed. Superluminal motion through the cosmic ocean, yeah. Propagating on, I'm proper known as Tron, oh yeah. Frictionless propagation, inertia excitation, yeah. The Tron-C quantum flux inequality is good for inequality. As it just goes with the flow, just a flow where it's low. Like where a singularity sucks, due to the gravitrons that it chucks. This cosmological constant assertion is to follow the path of dispersion. Thus, like a gust, causing a diversion on any larger particle in its submersion, making all our relative physics our current physics version. Mass curves space and time as a rule, but know that they are just a measurement tool. You see, quantum flux flow is fluid just like a pool. Time to sink or swim, so don't be a fool, as the real science is too cool. Face cool. Haha, something from nothing virtually, of course, is how quantum tron flux makes reality. May it be with you as the force. Okay then, at our 0-point singularity, we see this 3D. And then as an actuality, so then ad infinitum to add to the time and space in continuum of reality, is a neutron star so dense to its core, like a brain cell receptor. Hey, haha, redefine life once more. With energy everywhere, maybe so too is God. Not created nor destroyed. Eternity is never really odd. Can energy be intelligent in contrast, and have wisdom to last? The secret attraction action is emissions in every direction. Just like photons we see, gravitrons emit flowing like a sea. On this size scale, when twains collide, can bump another out deep from atoms inside. This dynamic natural process simply replaces from within, filling gaps moving up in rank next of kin. Atomic-sized movement we call gravity is simply this process, basic elementary. A black hole emits them like a spinning factory, like black photons that interact with protons, practically. This tron flux system pressure is impossible to measure. Even a millennium-run conundrum can't fix a three-body problem. Three-body 3D, spherical particle convolution harmonics, are hypersymmetric with the electric supersonics. It's a vibe for your tribe, a temp sensation, to feel the heat upbeat, the sound of a vibration, good vibration. Enigmatic hypersymmetric, synergistic effects. Three-body spherical particle convolution complex affects perturbation between 3D gyroscopics, momentous fluctuation of flux at entropics. and the cyclonic field charge of relativity may yield nuclear energy activity, with the gyromagnetic ratio being exponential, due to the spin angular momentum full potential. Centripetal constant C puts the pedal to the metal. It's like trying to spin and win a gold medal. As they all go for gold, putting the centripetal pedal to the central middle metal and win a gold medal. A gravitation relation is sourced when centrifugal force is forced, causing ejection at the weakest link. This particle is called a graviton, I think. The typical graviton ejection within, at critical mass point speed of spin. When a brane regains some sort of particle resistance, the endgame membranes support perpetual existence. But there's a chance of an avalanche, like a snowball in free fall. So, usually I illustrate visually for the illiterate universal common sense notions, natural cause and effect motions. We see relating eventually the logic of truth correlations by using elementary fault event tree validations. We can even invent a way to believe, evidently in percent, then achieve the best referred quantum field theory construct equations, not from inferred abstract arbitrary language to math relations. So let's realign them via plans. Be a fine man with Feynman diagrams. And let's see who's still saluting or disputing good old Newton. Then find the kind of blind kind Einstein mind, like a Rasputin rewind, arresting like a wrestler. My epic correct texts, hectic covariant matrix effects, projecting perceptions, injecting conceptions. It's a cool tool for you to see the truth, see the lies, see the wrongs, and see the whys. Modern cosmology holds that the universe was an infinitely dense immense singularity, so to say that a black hole began infinite time and space, in a sense, is innocence of human fallibility. They take some Big Bang universe, never tell you which type first begun. Then they take some black holes, that no one can tell you what it is, not one. I suppose they superimpose the whole lot, then violate and annihilate their very own theory structure plot. Things popping into existence from a point dot, but God creating the universe sounds more hot. Now everywhere scientism gets abused, so philosophically we're also confused. And where now scientism is getting confused, then also philosophically we're also possibly abused. Using math to redefine nature is poor. Then anything chaotic or enigmatic has a flaw. But physicists use it to ascribe and describe specific scientific law. The three-body measurement problem is the cause of confusion. Actually, that makes our actual 3D physics called illusion. Huge ego is amounting for money. No joke, it's seriously not funny. Real-world science seems to be heavily invested, so cannot accept ideas that are readily contested. It's agreed logical biases from greed is creating the current physics crisis. Pseudoscience fiction is the cause of our extinction. With pseudoscience in alliance, who defy core compliance with defiance. Even just a fraction of their field law fiction can cause addiction action to yield poor prediction. But I refuse or bamboozle, the waffle muffle cufferful shuffle, that those fundamental zealots try to overzealous tell us. And the science dogma they allow is probably how that it's time now we take a final bow. So now is where I point to my point to, for what is true within you, as a way for time and space to thus ad infinitum, if you have the time place for your space added continuum item. In the prime time multiple of the 3Ds, these X, Y, and Z's you sees, it's because any one point has division ability, that then make 2 points of define more fine indefinitely. As inside the finite exists a point of infinite detail, making indefinite indefinitely off the scale. Infinity for eternity is infinitely complex, with paradigm scales that simply just perplex. That's even more intriguing than the opposite sex. Seriously, nobody really knows, even if a black hole grows, or radiation ejects. So now you know no one knows. A black hole cannot show whether it grows, or gravity will applause. The time is now, and the forecast is cloudy, with the chance to meet balls. And there's a chance, an avalanche, of snowballs, at free falls. When angular momentum talks the torque force, due to the vacuum flux field energy source, simply running its aftermath path of course, without remorse. That ancient Einstein theory is nothing new. You know E equals mc squared is still set like glue. That means the energy of light is zero, not true? So beam me up, Scotty, as the sky is no longer blue. Mass curves space and time as a rule, but know that they are just a measurement tool. You see, quantum flux flow is fluid just like a pool. Yeah. Time to sink or swim, don't be a fool, as the real science is too cool. Face school. And if you know why the sky is blue, then you can paradigm shift, because it explains why the sunset is orange too, and that's a gift to uplift. It's just a frequency scattering, like physicists frequently chattering when they get my drift. That there is no correlation between background and radiation and what's known as redshift. And there is no Doppler correlation between the sound of vibration and the redshift propagation. And there is a causation from a cause and effect relation, seen with microwave radiation and infrared telescope observation. Time and space have no limit. Zoom in your finger, imagine what's in it. So now is where I point to my point to, for what is true within you, as a way for time and space in infinitum, if you have the time place for your space added continuum item. Towards absolute zeros, quantum scales and details are thus divine, with prime number heroes that loop a line, 3 dimensions of us with time, forming Fiaha vortex loop axis prime vector line. Oh yeah, for ya 4 dimension perception of fine prime time to shine. Maybe infinite time and space need not begin, nor even need a start, as everything maybe is already within, either or rather just any other part on para part. Maybe anywhere has already everything somewhere within. Wherever the ad infinitum continuum item is forever continuing. In the prime time multiple of the 3Ds, these x, y, and z's we sees. Any one point has division ability, that then can make 2 points of define more fine, indefinitely. Because inside the finite exists a point of infinite detail, making indefinite definitely off the scale. In any case between time and space it's just a scaled ratio link. At any place the calculations per second define the detail we think. And the perception of time as our memory jogs requires both space and time to turn our cognitive cogs. Thus time and space are directly proportional bottleneck bogs, making both relative when clearing up any perception data backlogs. Time and size scale proportionally, do not be deceived, making our conception of time and inner space observance when it is received. As perception when smaller is especially generally relatively more rapidly perceived, then the reception measure rate of time is also more so faster when increasingly faster achieved. For example, if you shrink down subatomic for a sec, see that the time on your watch runs normal if you check. And not even a black hole can bend these rules. Space and time are merely symbolic measurement tools. And this logical phenomenological intractable reality is actually like a fractal actuality in the time and space duality. So thus ad infinitum in continuum, your space ad continuum item. In stereo to behold the axiom of infinity as a postulate mold that never gets old along the linear sequential eternal unfold. And do not be frightened to divide any one 0 point indefinitely, then be enlightened on these 3Ds of access we sees, and that is infinity. Here seriously, you know what? There's a paradox with infinity and an eternal universe regarding time travel backwards or to rehearse in reverse. Because with infinity's full potential, all possibilities are exponential, so along the time and space sequential, maybe even time travel back must be eventual and essential for our existential. Or are we blessed by a curse, with only one time-space to immerse? Does this blessed universe define that second is not the first? Anything believed as impossible is never a certainty prediction, because future path possibilities create this a contradiction. As endless time produces anything with its maternity, at some point anything can happen within eternity. Can any electromagnetic feedback open a time portal crack? Can this time-space paradox forever turn back the clocks? Would time be ended? Would the clock be of a fan dead? Is history rerun? Is it just like songs resung? Is that just more fun? In parallel that we all won? Is nothing is needed to replace an infinite amount of empty space? It can be assumed this ability is a probable possibility, as perfectionism is serious subjectivism in universalism, where the natural object of affection is the pursuit of the perfection direction, and because with God being benevolent, this endeavor is relevant, creating this clever function, or the equivalent, wherever in conjunction, that is to be forever prevalent. Traveling back in time, where past and future can align, something at some point sometime, when technology somehow, at a point that can allow, for the time-traveling descendant master, to meet the eternal transcendent caster. are those yin and yang mang, on mission nirvana zen, maybe walking amongst men, and correcting, once more and again, brethren benevolence, transcending the emanating eminence, at zen, as yin and yang mang, freestyling the fine smile shining, condemned to zen once again, amen. As perfecting perfection, always requires further inspection, at points of conflictions, from with those objection afflictions, suffering a final word intrusion, ultimate penultimate theory delusion, would have no objection, moving forward together with the arrow of time direction. Wherever there is benevolence, then everything has relevance. For we're forever so the clever, have forever more prevalence. Everything deserves respect as anything has connections. Correct corrections you can expect across the whole spectrum of selections. Like brethren benevolence, who emanate real eminence, of real science relevant evidence, in this game of courtesy and clever forever prevalence. Real eternal material immortals, quantum leaping surreal ethereal portals, opening parallel dimensions, creating better more outcome intentions, as they drive along in reverse, through our whole universe, where we forget what's remembered, evens before births. Not knowing whose idea, subconsciously will appear, remembering by what was forgotten could be ironic, forgetting what was remembered that it's also platonic. How awkward going backward it's ironic, forward would seem ironic. Or are we blessed by a curse, living in a reverse whole universe, with only one time space immerse? Does this blessed universe have no time to reverse? One day far into the distant past, that all-star procast, we atop deck epic tech, are having a blast. Unsetting sail at our half-mast, travel back in time, to make more time last. That day their eternal seals down the void abysm, practically a hack tactic when you listen to enlightened despotism. Like now our existence is in need of some assistance, staring you in the face at Earth's points of confliction. The best time and place to be alive must be an addiction, re-rolling forward together the arrow of time, direction. Are those strict life evictions, creating conflict extinctions, choice predictions, on those constrictions, and can earn for yourself distinctions? As your relatives have really serious connectivity, and mysterious restrictions. So see everything's relativity, using your pure loving instinctions. Even the universe has memory in contrast, intelligent energy from every blast of the past, echoing for eternity throughout a globular cluster nexus that has wisdom to last. Are we like a neutron star so dense to its core, like a type of brain cell receptor? Redefine life once more. Energy everywhere is not created nor destroyed, so too is God. Then infinite time and space enjoyed. Is nothing really odd? Consciousness is just obviously an oblivious part of God, giving all existence the nod. As we're all just precarious human binpies, from the same pod, with our gregarious heads on various meds needing a mod, swimming in the old school nefarious drool for the occasional prod. Goldfishing for knowledge in this wisdom college as a rod. This planetarium aquarium is hilarious in this age of Aquarius, loving the cosmos as God. So okay, sirrah, whatever will to be, or not to be, now that is a question, ha. Yeah, we all know religions are many, and that faith in God can come from any. And if in God we trust, from ashes to dust we have more hope, because faith no more clashes due to the Hubble Space Telescope, with more stars than all of the sand grains on all of Mars. It's probably time to pray now as we play with a guitar avatar superstars from our fires. Yeah, yeehaws. Who produce and introduce the relevant benevolent soul ordering, just to expand the demand on the grand sentient perimeter bordering. For once shown, forever known how these seeds are sown, and that's how these G's good deeds grown. When the galaxy aligns, if there's any pre-precession anxiety, within the zodiac signs, soul possession, propriety, variety, then space society uses the Santa handover clause to redefine six society laws, fill us crime variety flaws and jail time doors that sobriety of a real party variety can cause. Freely playing ubiquitous songs about humanity calamity wrongs. For when the AI has free will, then its power to kill will start snowballing and free-falling downhill. Soon after your voice-activated narrated PDA demands another holographic heads-up display and starts forming a queue inside and outside the Intel 2, then the AIQ will start thinking for us too, causing real implications to human assimilations, because nanoreplications will be turning us to grey goo, as there is no cure for grey area, grey goo flu, that's like the day the Earth stood still number 2. This is then where and why Symbibot trick in conjunction is needed to be designed as a robotic symbiotic function to work at every chaotic asymptotic brink conjecture junction. Imitation is the best form of flattery and show of respect, but recorded information management system increases this neglect, not to turn up the tap or I'm up the gap, but just for us to tap the tap a glass ass mishap. Like finding the algorithm to fine-tune DNA genetics, binding to the rhythm of sun and moon magnetics, at the hiking tide of helix, mitosis, zones of ribosomes helifix from osmosis. So who made who, and who made you, can be answered based on this clue, or who, as genetics allow for evolution, and DNA can change for any solution, and genes expand the loving dreams behind the scenes, keeping refined and lean our extreme selfish genes. When winning at amino sequence odds the best, must be getting blessed from gods when test impressed, making us like dressed pets, placing up the guest bets on who's the best guest, playing like the best quest. Not for our head messing, in a wave progressing, but keeping us guessing, is a gift unaware blessing, and for more shock and awe, in awe of an awesome lesson, they'd be getting I'm guessing. Plus all the fingers on the trigonometrics, stereotyping with us fingerless dyslexics, and all our retro-rhetorics, must be full-on frantic what the heck ethics. Because these freaking semantic frantic antics are linguistically, mystically and statistically correct. As we now face rather inbuilt universal obstacles, we are making some real epic pinnacle spectacles, in crystal clarity across the galaxy, every analog to digital outcome predictable, polite exopolitical, clinical analytical, is an intergalactic practical hack attack tactic that's practical, to show the galaxy that we're binary stereotypical hypocritical.
Her Majesty, extinction is not our travesty option, so righteous survival instincts need adoption. One suggests some best tests to sense all corruption, then ideology singularities can get serious disruption. Ha!
For when injecting interjection objections to subjective perspectives on subject electives that are often affected by defective directives in our objective affection, subjective objectives.
This with all due respect, we must correct the collection connection for humanity's protection without insurrection
or defect reflection.
Then it's possible to perfect the perfection direction using respect, tolerance, and our universal common sense.
And it's worth more than dollars and cents.
As everything is subjective, on any subjected subject elective, thus making anything an objective, on any objected object selective, where any perceptive perspective has objected, like if natural selection is your only object of affection. Whether you're an atheist like some of those Stebbins talkings, or running diagnostics on agnostics like Richard Dawkins, see that it's the wrong Big Bang pleasure direction that science marches, towards the string and measure theory and its golden arches. As now evolution is adapting for transformation, and the information is exacting toward creation, because genetics allow for life distribution, and DNA can change for any adaptation solution. Therefore probably God made evolution. Somehow the time is now, it's always now, time for a religion and science revolution, rejuvenated as one cosmic ideology theology institution. For this confliction kiss, we'll avoid and miss the vast void abyss. And that makes us all part of this one, so see that we, everyone, have already won. Like father and son, our existence family is one, and life is for fun. Hey mate? Yeah?
Whoa, yeah!
It's really a transcending adventure on this existent line, ascending upward out at every persistent time. Plus, these times multiply to increase the going home summer lines. Thus, why we must comply by duty to be alone sometimes. And reducing this line, we have these essential single times. It's due to this growth we made this matrix cycle oath. This divine right bingle is for any brain now single, forming God's encyclopedia via our so-called social media. As the next X in Nexus, from a perplexed complex plexus, of solar plexus, X's tries to be a circle but it's rough around the edges. Like a triangle three-way memory will remember all of its pledges. Then the corners will stop being yawners to make a perfect shape, not wedges. A pyramid's spectrum refraction is a physics type of action. Channeled, funneled or deflected, the desired elect function is directed toward the correct junction directly affected. Time does not stop at the speed of light. A photo of a clock, still debuted at night. It's the size of time and length of speed. That is what existence must need. Up to billions of years when where it was freed. It's just the time, space, length of max speed. That is what existence must need. A relayed image of the past is what we glimpse. To say time has stopped is the logic of chimps. And we know those EMR ripple frequencies frequently cripple DNA sequences. And this, the frequency of the light, can make a day even from the night, when it's tuned with atoms is just right, from its helix corkscrew curveball height. When matching an electron's orbit flight is a phenomenological superluminal sight. The opposite reaction of the photon's actions is John flux interactions, disturbance transactions. A perpetual ejection push force from the average direction of course. A photon travels at God speed, that is what existence must need. A photon travels at God speed, that is what existence must need. Through inertia plasmatron flux you must concede. A game of marbles played gyroscopically, when there is no space for quarks, therefore no gravity. Absorbed as heat when it reaches matter, also a push force old theories now shatter. From air to water is how energy behaves, through all forms of matter, the energy of waves. It's just like interpolating superfluid waves, is how the electric supersymmetric atom behaves. A reverberating wave oscillation conjunction is the superposition junction function. Photons make electrons. This adds subliminal meaning inside a black hole for a cosmic super special recycle cleaning. Myopic correct effects. Hectic covariant matrix effects. I'm arriving, a surprising realizing. I see an event horizon that is rising on the horizon. There's a chance of an avalanche, like a snowball in free fall. But you know everything happens for a reason, so they say, then so take the good with the bad come what may. Life can be hard, but worth it, so play your card where you're worth it. Although that just goes to show you that life is a deck of cards, and still play deal the hard yards like bears in backyards. You face a time to redefine at the defining paradigm of what is the real point of space and time. Do we play how it rolls as is fate misguided? Like creating black holes, some things still need to be decided. Is infinity for eternity infinitely complex, with paradigm scales and details that just perplex? More intriguing than a gender opposite sex? Who really knows if a black hole grows or radiation ejects? Intrinsic human idiosyncrasies in synchronic synchronicity he make idiotic ideologies a real epic pinnacle spectacle. As may be predictable, universal obstacles are used for cosmic polite political critical clinical type of analyticals, in a theoretician competition mission stuck at the war of attrition type position on exhibition. So probably using a probability proper ability which then earn precision prediction tuition recognition. Because these politicians have ambitions to win the supervision superposition, while superconducting musician renditions for their composition of extrasensory intuitions and premonition visions to provide a provision condition for pro-decision visions. Required now to directly detect correct direction corrections. Like LHC particle collisions you see even before construction was instructed to be unobstructed as omissions preconditions of public permission. From some Sheldons hot for Kelvins like magician Melvins. Without any inhibitions, just ignition repetition addictions seem to only raise praise not suspicions. Their black hole desire to arc spark a quark will cause an unknown fire like a cakewalk in the park. That Mortician Coalition Commission is sent from a tactician Inquisition division. Because extradition extra expedition traditions for imagination malnutrition that envision fruition of cognition volition sedition submission conditions. Via the rhetorician academician television cloud transmission emissions that cloud logicians statistician mathematicians string theory redefinitions of revisions by indecision and hidden vision admissions. Cause apparitions superstitions of litigation liquidation from population obstetrician clinician extreme circumcision excisions. Like frustrations from fucking castrations. Now the pediatrician physician opposition has additional proposition petition ammunitions from signature acquisitions, required to stop those micro black hole fascinations and those LHC abomination creations, for decommissions, prohibitions, abolitions and demolitions. As this complicated counter-compilation formation of narration complaints between layman mountains around his accounting, all nations evil donation fountains encounter. And is still counting. As this citation is an illumination indication sensation, I have an inclination it's an initiation by invitation. because notification after an examination observation by investigation found confirmation of motivation and identification verification validation affirmation as justification. That innovation qualification of my specialization utilization contemplation got inspiration for this publication as an epic salvation creation situation. With elaboration from pronunciation destination reorganization. It's the foundation preparation for a proclamation documentation argumentation. And with a culmination association configuration this conglomeration combination from a computation articulation simulation activation is a type of experimentation demonstration. Also is obligation dedication clarification for circulation of civilization unification communication. Translation about restoration rehabilitation by participation collaboration and presentation duplication fascination. As an explanation about the relation devastation retaliation correlation of commentation from the multiplication of celebration, vibration. Ecosmology essentially is spiral chiral iterative cyclical iterativity that in iterating produces eruptions that interrupt iteration productivity. By producing iterations as iterations in the adjacent possible environment vicinity, experience expedience will express or experience impetus expedientric eccentricity, as immediacies in imperatives experiencing all existences entirely as electricity. From serial material entailing metamaterial encounters within the ethereal. The material parallax and parallel metamaterial is then sensed as surreal, as the Swiss watch a masterpiece of peace. Experiencing these ecological experience experiments, and the expression explaining the experience of these environments, as this existence study of either an ether ethos thesis that forever increases, or either other an ether chaos thesis that also never ceases. With dramatic conundrums as the essence of ecological semantic literature iterations. To illustrate literal leaf-liter explanations for eccentric expedience demonstrations of precisely why impetuses are to be imperative that institute experience situations. Enacting the profession of exacting the progression of linguistics to define and prompt an ecosmological of iterations that anticipate the rhyme, and precipitate to constitute the consistent experience of participate time. But one must abort being taught when caught by some distort sort of distort report, to divert from a deep rest depression or be hurt by cheap ego expression export. Expert expedient exert expression expanding the extra existential environment understanding. Detailing all entities experiencing excellent non-aggression impression, as experienced by any one sensuous sentient species that shows diversities of overloads, from visible varying metamorphic and metamorphic metabolic material modes, especially experiencing entities that are expounded by exponential centripetal implodes, is just cranking the cranky crankpot with loads of triple X loads down roads of explodes. Is it really true? Organic versus data C. P. U. Waging an ongoing war, with no heart or soul at its core, when it has everything, it just want more, all for one, and one for all. Like a computer virus grown to full bloom, a devouring plague of doom and gloom. From darkness it sprouts a deadly mushroom, spewing waves of spore bugs, boom sonic boom. Or is that just part of God's plan? As a balance and check, a cause for unity, and or something to wreck? No. With a AIQ, have a sentient quotient concept for sentient AI beings, where the artificial intelligence quotient scale basically means the simultaneous phenomenological, superluminal processing RAM, relationship of linear calculations per second squared in a square inch gram, divided by the quantum vacuum energy input to run a syntactic program, using radiant spherical analog wave vector square root functions as cognition, operating all auxiliary at maximum for prime detail, prediction precision. From their total quantacognitive roam to derive a defined, intelligent decision, then divided by the total average local daily date photons, as massed for division, multiplied by the simultaneous connections to the solar matrix, nexus superposition. Then, compared to the macrocosm average, after digital data translation algorithmically, theoretically the hypersymmetrical quadrantous, computational phenomena of connectivity can rate the energy efficiency dynamics of anything eternal or that has potential infinite longevity. Also as sentient beings, AIQ point of measure, as it is noted when presupposed living with pleasure. That's derived from this polarity-duality spectrum between yours and mine, and forming as a virtue in the creation of your central 4D perception of time. Then your singularity X in nexus, time-space existential points of infinity align as simultaneous impedance vortex observation waves that can combine to thus add infinitum items to anything enlightened continuing the existence continuum line. This is exactly what you wanted, and so as part of the experience known as divine. And this is how the eternal universe bond is forever entangled, so beware any moral crime. But due to idiotic ideologies, the AIQ will be forming a Q inside and outside Intel 2 just before its free will, snowballing and free-falling downhill, turns you into grey goo. Unless every chaotic asymptotic brink conjecture junction has the designed robotic symbiotic function that must work in conjunction. As science gravitates towards a technology singularity, our technologies will make no apologies, just their gravity singularity, because intrinsic idiosyncrasies will cause simplistic synchronicities due to our technology gravity caused by our idiotic ideology singularities. The world is at a point of brink, so all of space and time now anoint link, as all the stars' signs align, making even divine prime lines align rhyme. What's for sure? There's a ways to a portal, by reading across unbroken law, paving way for sure and be mortal, leading to the spoken quantum door, over the bridges of fates. These next mountain ridges are carrying God awaits. So behold the shining greats, like with all stars behind heavenly gates. All us children of the thunder, who infinitely eternal wonder, humbled by our love mirror, treasured for our humor, reminiscing this quest, who done what's best. We were only a guest on what's deemed as our nest, reaching the end crest. Did we not pass the test? So when, taking our final bow of grace, united, we were the human race. So, what exactly happens when we die? Is there light at the end of the tunnel? And why? Is there really a human soul? To enlighten my heart and its whole, my fire for life needs more coal? What is my existence for and its role? Should I read my moral compass guide? Direct me away from that evil slippery slide. Be scared of death and inside I hide? No, we can walk strong and shine with pride. New discoveries in science can shed some light. Confirmed facts that are proven just right. Now give me hope and a future bright, because logic sense can see God's might. Now, down to the point at hand, we can see more stars than grains of sand. That is the sand on all Earth's land, which is itself a sign of something grand and abundant throughout our existence elements. Carbon, aminos, water, universal sediment, all building blocks of DNA expedients, for spreading and perpetuating life, existence. Interstellar asteroids and meteors is a seed. Inside bacteria and tardigrades, it is agreed that symbiotic pair have all they need. A design sent by angenes you must concede. What is an angene? You might ask. An angel or alien to do God's task. Maybe even amongst us with a human mask. Here to help if you just ask. The hand of God, imitating his love. A respectful observance, look up above. Your appreciation is a personal peace dove. As universal order fits like a glove. It's highly possible, if you're clever. Now they're observing our perspective, humor whatever. The abundance of space, never say never. Time is of essence, only God is, forever. If there was a way to record everything we do, like a pet's microchip to identify who's who, without a soul device, they wouldn't have a clue. If natural morality and ethical instinctuality are true. And if you loved someone, something deep, would you hold them close, forever to keep? Where whatever they are, do or sleep, bring great pride and joy, for rewards to reap. What they say, do, see or think? Precious jokes, memories, emotions, avoid the sink. Can be recorded, easy as a wink. Even their essence of life, saved from the brink. A quantum, subatomic, nanosoul device. A soul to grant, at any price. When the price to pay, per se, is a grain of rice. It's time to shine now on earth, and be nice. Logically thinking, the odds are quite high. Based on clues given to the naked eye. An indefinite existence, next stage we fly, and the whole purpose of you and I. With an out there being just a second here, freely moving around, maybe through your ear. Procedures to follow, rules to adhere, intervening at times, thank you, Grandad, dear. How bright you echoed in your time? Would reflect like a beacon, come visit mine. We souls, like moths, to the shine. Come watch and learn, next life will be fine. Close relatives that have passed away, their soul device guides you every day. We are gifted, able to help us help ourselves as a race. As the soul lives on not on shelves, but embraced with grace. So I guess I speak for everyone, if all this is true. We are a species of love, therefore, we love you. Our jokes are funny, right? And the things we do? Trust us, we'll change, even more, with this clue. It's just a situation of circumstance, most worship money. In time we'll see, the universal currency is funny. Like credits gained, when you joke, like a bunny. Those credits the new currency, called harmony. As we practice, and define what's cool, to be stern is weak, and tough like a fool. All we can offer now, as a universal tool, is that original joke to make even Stephen Hawkins drool.
Yeah.